Luukkonen will not. Dahlin will. We looked into that further, and good news there. So he will.
Uh, Connor Clifton mentioned to us that he's just frustrated with his game. He feels like he hasn't gotten to it yet. I mean, just from your perspective, well, for him, the adjustment to a new system, what you guys are going through as a group, how can he go to playing that abrasive, assertive game that really made him your guys' choice when you went out in free agency to grab somebody?
Yeah, I think he's going through a process of even coming in on a bigger contract and different expectations and different role. And I think he's feeling some pressure that might not be there as well. He doesn't look like himself. At times he looks out of rhythm, just in his reads. Just a hockey read, not anything systematic at all, but just a hockey read. So he's a guy I've known for a long time, and he's certainly being challenged. I think his biggest challenge is his confidence day to day, with respect to where he's at right now.
As a coaching staff, what's the challenge been with the defense pairs when you have a couple of guys adjusting to a new team? You've got Owen Power's still only 21 years old, and he's still learning in certain situations. So what's it been like to try to piece together three pairs that have chemistry and obviously can play off each other's strengths?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're in a challenging stretch here, and I think you mentioned Owen. I think it's his second year coming in. You have some real good hindsight. You come into a year and sophomore years, second years are tough for varying reasons, and I think he's been challenged with different things. One being his confidence and being able to compete at the level he wants to, the standard he wants to every night. So there's been moments where he hasn't handled the puck as well or as smooth as he does customarily. So that will obviously complicate your game. The pairs, as Dahlin's minutes, obviously Dahlin being our top guy, you're gonna get him out in situations, and you're gonna have to play games differently if you're down than if you're up. It kind of breaks a rhythm sometimes, and the unfortunate obvious is we've been in that situation too many times. So when that happens, your game plan within a game is shifting, and your pairs may shift at that point too.
Sanderson just doesn't seem like himself right now. Is he playing injured at all, or he just doesn't seem like himself?
Yeah, no, I think he's not. He's hasn't looked like himself to me as well. It's just something he's got to fight through to get to where he needs to be.
But he's okay. He's not.
He's good. He's good.
The turnover situation, I mean, he's still killing plays, but the turnovers are what strike me with him. I mean, is that just a case of sometimes guys get in their own heads when they have the puck and they're...
This is new territory for a lot of guys. Greater expectations, greater demand, and sometimes that can mess you up a little bit, the psyche. You feel pressure that's really not there, but you feel it. And it interferes with your reads, the simple things that you could do. It interferes with you, and obviously the short of it is you get in your own head. And we've talked about a handful of guys where that their biggest battle is within themselves, and being themselves more on a more consistent basis. Where you would see that in the team is overall a little bit of hesitation, which manifests in you need to work harder, you need to be more aggressive, more assertive. You can be more physical when you're more assertive, and we've seen us even just reviewing film game to game. There are moments of hesitation where we give time and space, and then once you give time and space, you may have to cover the entire rink when you could have just covered 5 feet by not backing, and you gauge, you go halfway, it's no good. And sometimes you go halfway and you lose, well, maybe I shouldn't do that, or I fear what might happen if I don't make this play, and you're now putting 4 other guys in jeopardy, and we've had a bit of that.
You talk about being assertive, and I look at his this may not be the greatest time to be playing in Boston, but you've lost 20 of the last 22 against them. You've gotten killed 3 times in a row against them since the New Year's Eve game. What can you do against this club to kind of establish something? Because if you can't be competitive with the top team in your division, you're just never going to go anywhere.
We need to, a big part of winning is understanding the process of the game, just the simple process of the game. Consistent movement up and down the ice as far as win your shift, put pucks in, pressure pucks, get a shot where you can get a shot, as opposed to trying to flat out score a goal or make a perfect play or look for the ideal play. Just simple and direct and hard is it would be the messaging in that. You know that you need to do that against a team that we play tomorrow in the building that we play tomorrow, and you need to hit the repeat button on it, and you need to be comfortable that this is something you have to repeat. It's not anything bigger or anything more grand. It's just the simple, hard, and direct over and over again. And these challenges that players know what you've said. As far as I don't know that they know the statistics, but they know the demand when you hop on the ice in that building, and that can be a galvanizing thing, and we need it to be that, obviously.
Yeah, I think Boston's one of those teams where they accept the 50-50 shift more, then you guys have to accept some of those more too.
Absolutely. I would say, I don't even want to say them. I'll just say we do. We do. I don't even want to talk about another team in that respect. Winning is a process, and we need to get more consistent with that process of shift in and shift out, being more simple, direct, and hard. Not one of the 3 or 2 of the 3. You need all of the 3. And again, repeat. That's what the best and most successful teams do.
Obviously, things happen. Uko is sick. You can't do anything about that. But when it comes to calling up Devin, even he said, he just didn't expect it to happen this quickly. Is there any concern about interrupting kind of what you sent him to Rochester for, which is to insulate and establish a rhythm in his own bubble?
Well, we sent him there, and we talked about how much practice time they have, and to get into a rhythm. Obviously, we had 3 at the time. So now he's back. It's different circumstances. We don't have Upi. We don't have 3 right now until Upi's recovered. But this is part of the unknown, and having to deal with the unknown better every day is part of advancement in players' career. Adapting right away to a challenge that's unforeseen or unpredictable, and that's what he was in when he got the call yesterday when Upi came in and was a no-go.
Really had a nice game in the last game. Is it just, did it seem like he finally got used to the speed of the National Hockey League and everything, and it allowed him maybe to get to his game and play better?
We felt the same way, Paul, as coaches. He looked much better. He looked more assertive, confident in being more direct, and by virtue of that, played harder in those areas. And so, yes, he had his best game, I felt, last night. And, he's an intelligent guy. He's a hard guy, hard worker, and a competitor. And, we need him, as we do each guy, to step up, be their best. And I like the direction he showed us, a big jump last night.
Is that the biggest obstacle for a new guy coming up that young, is just getting used to the speed? You got to make plays faster and those types of things.
It is speed and strength. Speed, strength, intelligence. I mean, you can tell a defenseman how fast a certain player is on another team, or how smart a certain player is, and you can show them all the film you want. But until they get out on the ice and gain that experience, they don't have any hindsight. So, yes, you need the actual experience, and but you've got to engage in it hard. And I think he has shown us each game he's doing that better. He's engaging more and harder. We know he's a quiet guy, but he also has some competitiveness to him, and we've pushed him to see more of that.
Good. Just what do you think of Tage in his first game back? He wasn't gone that long, but it was long enough where there could be some rust and so forth.
Yeah, there's he's a competitor. We needed that in the lineup. We needed a guy that, he had a guy that competes the way he does. He only had a morning skate. He didn't have a practice, so but he didn't want to sit out. He wanted to get in there, and I thought he was, effective for us and helped us quite a bit with, some drive. So I think it's going to take him, every player that comes off that and has to deal with he's dealing with is he's got to adjust his game a little bit to where his body's at right now.
Talk about players dealing with the pressure of expectations. I'm curious how you and your staff have kind of dealt with that or felt that at all.
Well, you're in this position. You feel pressure every day. From day one, you take a job like this. You feel pressure, and it's there. But you look at it every day to figure out where you're at in relation to your competitor. You prepare your team. You prepare each individual. You have a process that you keep going through, and then you review that process frequently too. You bounce it off. Other people within our organization. So the process is still the same, and we're still, under different circumstances. You're saying, okay, the circumstances are this. What can we, what should we be targeting in this situation? And today was obviously every day is a little bit different than the next based on information. If I'm going to tell you part of the process today, it's we need to find ways to play and bring in front of our players how to play more aggressive and how they're not situations that they may not recognize that they're not aggressive. But it's getting toward how we want to play. And you see it in spurts of a game. We can't hit that, as I've said to Mike, that repeat button. So for us, that's kind of the process every day. But yeah, the pressure's there all the time. Which it's not going to go away. The more the better you get, the more that's going to be there. It's just part of it.